Welcome to newspaper analysis session. So topics that we are going to cover today are new SEZ rules for the semiconductor and electronic manufacturing. We'll see what is this SEZ and where we focusing on this semiconductor and the electronic manufacturing. There is also one of the interesting topic of nitro cap. Okay, they have got some important prize. So we'll see what is the technological innovation and how we are going to use this thing in the answer writing. And then there is a article on flue gas desulfurization. This is also very important article. Already UPSC has asked on this flue gas desulfurization. So for the environment perspective, we need to understand what is this flue gas desulfurization is and why is this important and what are the current concerns associated with this. And then we'll see the most lovely model here is Rajasthan's Cash Plus model. So it is a very beautiful article. It's a very beautiful initiative. This is very, very good thing. Okay, this thing has to be used in the ethics answer, the most important article, this thing. And then aviation safety, we have already discussed, just have picked up something. And then insolvency and bankruptcy code, some issues every time, some articles keep on coming on the insolvency and bankruptcy code. So you need to understand what is this insolvency and bankruptcy code is. You need to have that basic clarity so that whenever any articles appear in the newspaper, you get to know them. So every day you are trying to learn some new concepts. Every day, whenever we learn new concepts, I am focusing on the fundamental aspect. What is it? After that only I am trying to explain what is the context, what is the news. First we are starting with the first question, why? What is it? Then we will go into the other details. So every time, any topic you study, first question the basic fundamental concept. What is the evolution? Why is it important? What is the discussion about? Okay, so in that way you have to study. So we will study this insolvency and bankruptcy code in the same manner. We will come to that. And then there is one more article. They are talking about the biomanufacturing, role of AI in the biomanufacturing. We have already seen the role of AI in the health sector. We have done the PDF also, given the PDF also on that. So today they are talking about the role of AI in the biomanufacturing mission. So we will try to see little bit basic about what is this biomanufacturing is. What is this biotechnology is all about. So I'll try to give you the basic idea regarding this biotechnology and the biomanufacturing so that you will be in a position to understand. Now, when they ask you role of AI in the health sector, you will be able to relate because they are getting the information. Using that information, they are trying to design the new products. In the same way, they are using this technology in the biotechnology. So for that, we will also understand what is this biotechnology is. Okay, so we'll go through that part as well. Okay, so unfortunate things are happening, so many accidents and all. So there is one more helicopter crash. Okay, then there is a bridge collapse in the Pune. I do not know why these things suddenly, all these things are happening. Okay, and the axiom, this mission got delayed. Okay, we already are aware what is this happening and all. So we are not getting into this axiom mission again. Okay, so and let's see what will happen in relation to the Iran and the Israel. So we are already aware what has happened with the Israel and Iran and why the Israel is attacking the Iran. So we are aware. So they do not accept Israel's existence. Iran question the existence of Israel. Okay. So and whenever there is a kind of capability of nuclear or uranium enrichment by the Iran, so who is the one who is going to get afraid of it? Israel, because in future they may launch any kind of nuclear missile on the Israel. So they do not want anything. So who has said? IAEA has said they have already enriched to the 60% of the uranium. So for that, it is a kind of threat. So they have attacked all its air bases and also they have attacked their nuclear facilities. We have seen that on the map as well. Now this is going to disturb any kind of peace building measures. So if any country, even the Russia has a good relationships with both the Israel and the Iran. Now, if they even want to make any kind of discussion table between the Iran and the Israel, so when you create a lot of mess, it is very difficult to sit at the negotiations table. So these things are happening, and we'll see what will happen and what will come out to be. Okay, so we'll see this AI in the biomanufacturing mission, very basic thing. Now see, from this thing, they are talking about previously they have mentioned about the role of AI in the health sector. Now they are talking about the role of AI in the manufacturing sector, biomanufacturing sector. Okay, so first you understand what is this biomanufacturing is. See, what is biomanufacturing? Biomanufacturing is use of the biological system to manufacture something. Okay, so I'm using your blood, I'm using your genetic structure, I'm using something which is a living kind of thing, living cellular system. to manufacture something. Maybe I am manufacturing some kind of organ, okay, maybe I am manufacturing some kind of tissue, or maybe I am manufacturing some kind of medicine using the biological things, or maybe I am manufacturing some kind of vaccine, drug, anything using the biological thing, biological entities. These things you are doing using the AI. So basically this is also biotechnology. Okay, so what is the biotechnology? When I talk about the biotechnology, what do you mean by biotechnology? What do you understand by the biotechnology? So always in the UPSC, if you are clear with the very basic fundamental things, that will help so many things. Okay, maybe your 50% of the preparation is done if you are clear with the fundamentals. So in the biotechnology, we are basically using the living organisms, for the well-being of the human. For well-being of the human. This is called the biotechnology. Using some technology, you are using the living organisms for the well-being of the human. Now, biomanufacturing means you are taking it to the next level. You are manufacturing certain things. What happened to this? Okay, so biomanufacturing means you are trying to manufacture something more. See, we used to use this biotechnology even in the ancient times, even from the long time period we are using this. Can you guys think a very fundamental aspect of using this biological organisms for some kind of well-being of the human? Yeah, that is also there. Okay, you are using the neem plants and all. Okay, basically you are using those materials to enhance something. So one simple thing is your fermentation of milk to turn it into curd. This is a very fundamental thing. Okay, so but now the technology has become advanced. So now I can see what kind of organisms exist in the planet, and I can see if these organisms have any kind of properties, proteins that can be utilized for the human well-being. Now, how do you extract the proteins? Okay, you have got an idea that okay, there is a one organism which is releasing a kind of protein. When you eat that protein, you are going to get the huge muscles, six packs and all. Okay, now how do you extract that protein? Okay, so for that, every organism will have the cell. In the cell, you have the nucleus. Within the nucleus, you have the DNA. In this DNA, there is a genetic material. Those chromosomes are made up of this DNA, and within that, you have the genetic material. So, genetic material means you can think of as a kind of code. Okay, I am having one kind of, let's say A T C A T C. Okay, like this something G. Okay, not A. Okay, A T C G. Okay, like this. There is a kind of sequence. Every sequence is representing one kind of code. This is going to close again. Let's check. So every sequence which you call as a kind of gene which is present in your DNA. Okay. So this is every gene, individual component is called the gene, is written a kind of code to manufacture some protein. So protein will be generated. For suppose my hair is black, okay, my eyes are this way, my skin color is this thing. So everything is written as a code in my cell. This is true for every organism. For every organism, there are multiple cells. In every cells, there is a nucleus. When I go into the nucleus, there is this genetic information. So because of this genetic information only, you are getting manufactured in a particular way. So the way you guys look different, the way I look is different. So there will be slight difference in the genetic structure for every individual, and because of this thing, our properties will vary. Now let's assume that you have identified. In order to identify that any particular protein is having some kind of benefit, so we need to have the information of all this coding, right? So first they will get the proper coding structure, proper genetic information, and then they will get which gene is responsible for which protein. If you identify, okay, there is some kind of important protein, okay, they will use this protein and transfer it to the relevant place to derive its benefits. For suppose we are using the BT cotton. From the bacterium thuringiensis, we have taken a kind of important gene and we have put it in a kind of crop, so that whenever any kind of worm, pest worm or any kind of worm, they try to eat the crop, because of the component, okay, the chemical will be released and the worms will die. So naturally, you don't have to do anything. Naturally, whatever the pests that are trying to eat that crop will die. You don't have to spray fertilizers or pesticides for that. So what are we doing here? We are utilizing the biological components that are present in the other organisms for the well-being of our human. Right? So with this, there are various benefits. This is a basic essence of your biotechnology. So for this, first we need to do understand what kind of information that is present in the different genes in the different organisms. So like this, for this various studies are going on. In the same way, what kind of human genome studies are also going on. Okay, so these things you will study in detail in your biotechnology class. I have given you just basic essence. What do you mean by the biotechnology? Use of biological organisms for the well-being of the human being. So when I say biomanufacturing, means same thing, I am using the same biological organisms to manufacture something. I am manufacturing medicines, vaccines, or any other things. So now they are talking about the use of AI in biomanufacturing. So biomanufacturing is use of biological systems and organisms to produce commercially important products such as pharmaceuticals, biofuels, and chemicals. It can be anything. It involves process that harness living cells or their components like enzymes to manufacture products in a sustainable and efficient manner. So this is the application, like say in the biofuels, the same thing, and it can be a sustainable thing. So in order to do this thing, we have the very good important policy, Bio E3 policy. So India is doing reasonably good in the biotechnology sector. So in order to take this thing to the next level, we have introduced a policy called Bio E3 policy, where we are talking about use of this biotechnology in the health sector, education sector, manufacturing, biomanufacturing, and all. So government is investing in the human resource development, investing in the infrastructure, laboratory upgradation. So this is very important scheme that we are doing. Now assume that here, now we have to develop some kind of vaccine, some kind of medicine. Now you got support of AI. So the AI will be able to tell you maybe how much amount of enzyme you might need, how much amount of blood you need to extract, or how much amount of protein you need to invest. So you are getting very good information. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on the research. You are getting a very good clarity. So using these things, you can be able to manufacture things. Now the same thing I have to write in the content format. When I have to write in the content format, I have to use the proper keywords. Can you see here? AI in the biomanufacturing. AI is transforming the biomanufacturing by optimizing processes. Now this is good way to write the answer. You got the concept. But if you have to put it in the answer format, so I will use the right words. Initially, you will not be able to generate the right words. First, initially, memorize the content. What is coming in the newspapers, what are there in the materials and all. After a period of time, you will get used to using this content. Naturally, you will be writing these words. But for the time being, by heart it. So that you put these words on the paper. See here, optimizing processes. That's what I was talking about. So efficiency is being increased. Like how the fermentation should be there. Now, like say sometimes when you go for this, okay, doing farming, if you want to make this yogurt and all, curd and all, every day you will not get the same product. Sometimes because of the changes in the temperature or because of the changes in the microbiome. Okay, so whatever the yogurt that you want to make, okay, it might vary. Its quality, its structure, okay, taste, everything might vary. So now you have proper data with you. You can optimize the process. You can optimize the quality. Now these things can be helpful in the business. At home, only you and your family will eat. Okay, so nothing will work. But if you have to commercialize it, okay, there should be always some standard has to be maintained. Now this thing will help. So I will use these things. Now who are the major companies? Companies like Biocon and Strand Life Sciences are using AI for drug screening, genomics, and the personalized medicine. This I have already mentioned. Okay, so for sometimes not every person will respond to every medicine in the same manner. Different person will respond to the medicine in different manner. For suppose one person has a kind of genetic structure, okay, another person has different genetic structure. Okay, the same medicine might not be helpful to the other person B. So now I got the data. I can develop the personalized medicines using the AI, because everything is now can be fast forward done because we have the AI technology. Okay, we have a lot of resources and all, so we can take it to that level. Okay, so and also collateral damage will also be less whenever you take any kind of antibiotics and all. So along with the bad bacteria, good bacteria will also die. So for suppose we have to target only specific bacteria. Now again, AI and this biomanufacturing can help. So this can also not only reduce the like say economic cost in the future, but they can also improve the health. It can also counter this antimicrobial resistance which we have discussed few days back. Okay, so this is where I have to use efficiency and precision. For this, India is developing the Bio-E3 policy, and for the AI, we have the in-AI mission. In the same way, to develop the role of AI in the various sector. Now, go back to the home. After that, read that article. But in India, what is happening is, you might be seeing, we are not regulating the AI. So many what kind of fake messages related to the AI are coming. Okay, sometimes you will not be able to identify whether this is a real one or AI generated image, real one or AI generated videos. It is very difficult. I was reading newspaper. Okay, so people were making Instagram reels using this this flight accident to generate some kind of fake videos. Okay, to highlight, okay, these many this is how the people got killed and all. They are generating these videos. So you can imagine whoever the families that are watching these things and all. Okay, how much pain they might feel, they might go through when they are generating this kind of AI generated visuals. Okay, to just get the reach and all. Such a I don't know, such unethical, or I do not know, so lack of common sense, or what do we say? Okay, just to get some kind of views, subscribers and all. So they are doing all these kind of practices. In India, we do not have any kind of proper regulation to handle this thing. Only act we have is the IT Act 2000. Using the same thing, we also do the regulation of the social media. Remember this very important point. IT Act 2000. There is the only act through which social media is being regulated. You do not have proper law for regulation of the AI. You do not have proper law for regulation of the social media and all. Nothing so far. So they are thinking to bring the new act, but so far it did not happen. It is very, very important in the new age where everything is digitalized and everything is being passed through the social media. This is the pain and concern. This is what the article says. We do not have the proper regulatory framework. Okay, and there are like say you need to have the proper data also. I told you. Okay, once when the AI was asked a question, okay, like what do you think about the present Indian government? They said it is a high authoritarian government. Okay, so a kind of whatever the information you pass it on to that AI, it will respond in the same manner. So there is some kind of bias in this. So that all those things has to be resolved before you do this something. Before you use the data and use the data to manufacture something, the data should be authenticated. There should be some proper authentication of this data. So you need proper regulatory framework to handle this thing. This is what the article says. You have got in the end. Okay, once read these points and then you go through the article. It will take just 5 minutes for you. So after going back home, after reading this PDF, just spend 5 to 15 minutes, read any 1 or 2 articles, whichever you feel like. This will also improve your reading comprehension skills. Okay, then you will consolidate your newspaper reading. So this is whatever biomanufacturing. Now what is this Rajasthan's Cash Plus model? So we have a scheme called Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, which offers financial assistance to the pregnant and the lactating woman for the first living child. I told you. Okay, so it is very important to take care of the mother's health and the child health. We used to have a lot of highest amount of the maternal mortality, infant mortality, child mortality. Infant means less than 1 year. Okay, child means maybe we can consider 5 years. Okay, so these are very high. Lack of institutional deliveries was also one of the reason. When woman goes for the delivery, there used to be many deaths. Okay, now woman, when she is in the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, after like say after 6 weeks, or maybe if not for the 6 weeks, maybe after 24 weeks. Okay, there needs to be some kind of rest period. Okay, so she is not expected to lift any kind of weights and all. There has to be some kind of proper care. But you can imagine a scenario where there are people who are living on the daily wages. Now, would they stay at home? No, definitely. Okay, they will go and do some work. So that's why Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, okay, they are also offering the financial assistance. so that women don't have to go for the work. This was a very good move, and whenever the woman has gone for the delivery, after the delivery, in order to enhance the nutrition scenario of both the child and the mother, they are also still providing some kind of cash incentives, financial incentives, so that nutritional standards increase. We have already discussed our India's nutrition standards are very poor. 50% of the women are anemic. Okay, and we have a very poor score in the global hunger index. Now, these things are some of the very basic initiatives in order to improve the nutritional standards of the women. But what the Rajasthan cash plus model is, they have not just provided the cash, but they have also sent people to the homes of these communities to teach how to utilize this cash. There could be the possibility the woman is getting the cash, but she is not utilizing that cash for her own health, for her own food. I told you, okay, generally women, okay, even in our households also you will see, okay, they don't eat, okay, they'll eat whatever it is left over, they don't want to waste. Or if it is little bit is amount of food is left, okay, they'll eat that thing and they will not eat anything else. So now you can imagine the scenario when the financial status is weak. So that's why they will go every home and they will communicate. See, it is not just for you. It is for your family also. Whenever I have to communicate to someone and something, and I know, okay, they don't listen, then I also use this thing. Okay. So what is the most important thing for them? Okay. So for suppose if I have to tell my sister that exercise is important, if she is neglecting, okay, I'll tell her it is not for you, it is for your kids. Okay, then they will do. Okay, because that is also true, right? See, if you are a parent and if you are, even if you are not a parent, let's say even if you are a kind of brother or sister or uncle, chacha, mama, whatever it is, kids will be observing you. Okay, or they will be watching you. Okay, if you are prioritizing your health, if you are prioritizing the workouts, whatever the exercise and all, they will see, okay, that's how we need to focus on this thing. If you notice, if the children notice you all the time anxious, okay, they also think, okay, they also use the same behavior. Okay, they don't prioritize their mental health first. Okay, they'll keep everything. They will put load themselves with all kind of responsibilities in the future, and they will also get nervous, and they will also not prioritize your health. So it is very important. In the same way, government is also providing the same kind of behavioral change. It is very important. This is how the attitudinal changes happens. Only when you are providing the money and if there is an attitudinal change, then only the schemes will become successful. So here they are bringing the behavioral change by teaching them. Why it is important? Because if the mother is unhealthy, if the mother is weak, if she cannot feed her children, if the lactating mother cannot feed her children, cannot provide her milk to the baby, then baby will not grow properly. Okay, it is not good for the baby. Okay, in order to feed the baby, the woman has to be healthy. If she has to be healthy, then she has to eat proper food. This is not the scenario with every family. Okay, because there are financial difficulties in India. Still, we have our highest amount of the poverty in terms of the absolute number. Though percentage level that is going down, even if you consider 1% of the population, can you imagine 140 crore 1%? So how much it is? Okay, so it is still very huge number, right? So that's why when you take the absolute number, it is very high. So that's why we need to bring these kind of changes. So that's what they are doing. Behavioral changes is being done. So in the ethics, they will ask you, okay, it is not just you are bringing some kind of schemes. It is how far that scheme is being implemented, how far the utility is being enhanced. So you have to make the scheme functional. Only when most people utilize it, most people understand its essence, only then it will be successful. You have see when we are able to think these things, whoever is the policy person implementing the policy, they have to involve themselves with their heart and mind, or else you can do your work just for the sake of duty. I have to do this work. You are not passionate. You can just do something. But if you are passionate, you will always try to do something extra. You will always try to do something extra step. So for this, again, the values are important. You should feel, okay, these are my people. Because of me, these people's lives are going to get affected. So you should have that kind of inner values. Only then you will take extra effort to think. That responsibility is a value laden term. Okay, or else you will just think it as a kind of duty. Responsibility means you feel you are connected, you have responsibility. Okay, you will take action with a kind of values. Okay, so those things are important in order to bring this thing. So you will link this thing to that thing. Okay, very important. Small concept, but very relevant thing to use this example at the multiple places. We have already discussed about the problems in the aviation sector. Here, the same point is being stressed. I told you there is a Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. We have discussed the new act. Okay, the Civil Aviation Act 1934 got revised. I don't know why in the Hindu they have still provided the same Civil Aviation Act 1934 to file cases. Okay, regarding the helicopter crash. Okay, there is a new law recently that has been passed, and we have already discussed that thing. Okay, please go and revisit that thing. 3 new bodies have been created. Okay, so I'll again provide the PDF and we'll discuss that thing again. So in that, the major important body is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. Now this body is functioning under the Director General of Civil Aviation. So any body, if it has to function neutrally and without any fear, it has to be autonomous and independent. We have already discussed this thing. So regulatory bodies functions to make it functional, it has to be autonomous and independent. But this body is not that autonomous. Now imagine CAG, UPSC. Why do you consider these bodies as highly authentic? Their reports and all. Because these are the constitutional bodies. Their removal cannot be done easily by the government. Their salaries are charged. Okay, you cannot easily fire any CAG or UPSC members. It is not that easy. So you need to give same kind of freedom and strength to the important regulatory bodies. What if some government bodies themselves are involved in accidents? So they will not be able to release a wrong report against or any kind of problematic scenario against the government itself. Government is going to regulate these things. Okay, so there has to be autonomy. Okay, independent investigating body and independent body that is providing the reports in the parliament, and then the discussion should be happen properly. This is what the article says. See here, the fragmented oversight and regulatory capture. Same thing, misuse of the investigation findings. Okay, so see, many accidents have happened already, but still they are not improving. Okay, they are not implementing these things. One thing, the problem of these aircrafts that are being manufactured by the Airbus and the Boeing. This thing we cannot do, the manufacturing thing. But still, even if they are providing you the poor aircrafts, if there are proper standards, if there are proper verifications, those things can be identified. So they were saying that the Ahmedabad air crash is because of the power failure. So why the people did not check the engines? Why there was a power failure? Okay, there were also scenarios. There was a overloading of aeroplanes. So why did you not check the overloading? So these are the things that can have been avoided. Even in the present, the helicopter crash that has happened in the Uttarakhand. Why the crash has happened? Still the investigation is going on. They have announced 5 lakh for every life that is lost. Is the 5 lakh what they are going to do with that 5 lakh? Can they bring back the life? No. There is a gross negligence here. So every time probably they finally blame the pilot. The pilot blaming should come at the end. This is what the article says. There has to be thorough investigation. Why the accident has happened? Be it a helicopter or be it a aircraft. Okay, there should be thorough investigation and there should be proper report and discussion on that report. Last, if still something really found, okay, then you can make the pilot accountable. Not every time pilot irresponsibility. Okay, because of these irregularities, there can be accidents. So that has to be properly addressed and taken care. This is what the article says. For that, you need autonomy of this investigating body present under the Director General of the Civil Aviation, which is under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Okay, so this is what the article talks about. So independence of the investigative body, prevent misuse, use those findings and prevent those things. No blame culture, independent oversight, and then you have to implement those things. This is major essence. So many accidents again. I don't fly okay, generally when I visit these things in local, these helicopters and all. When you went for the pilgrimage and all, I don't take these things. Paragliding and all. In India, we are aware. Okay, chalta hai. Okay, so those things do not go for this paragliding. These kind of things. Okay, when I think I visited Goa or no Sikkim, I visited. Okay, so then I was like, so no, I don't want to do. Okay, my cousins are like, no, let's do it. Okay, don't get scared. We have to do it. We have to enjoy it. No, then I gave them. Okay, so this is the scenario. Okay, I gave them past examples. How many people died? This does not work in India. In India, okay, after the accident they will check. Okay, there must be some damage. Okay, next time we'll do. Okay, so I won't risk my life doing these activities in India. See, if these things happen, so our image, our tourism image will go down. So this has to change. See here, can't they know? Okay, in the Pune, whatever the British era bridge got collapsed, and they check. Many tourists were coming. Someone, like when I was watching the video, someone has mentioned in the comment section, the 1 year back when they visited that place. Okay, then itself the bridge is in the weak position. Even after 1 year, they did not do anything. I don't know what the local administrators are doing. So much of negligence. That's what I said. Okay, if you are not passionate of what you do, you should feel that thing. It's not that just I get into some kind of service. Okay, I'll do nothing. No, you should feel the connection to the people nearby. You should feel, if something because of me, even because of the irregularity or because of laxity happens, people might get affected. They might lose their lives. The people should be driven in that way. If they are lazy, if they are not driven by passion and love and commitment, these kind of things happen. Yeah, again, those things will not happen. Okay, they are like, okay, you do it. Okay, so there has to be that kind of real passion should come from inside. Okay, that's why you have these values in your ethics, civil service, objectivity, civil service values. These things are being provided, but generally what happens is people will by heart those values and they will implement them for the answer writing purpose for the GS1. Again, after getting into services, they are like gone. Not just after entering into services. Wherever you are, just be passionate whatever you do. Okay, there will be a beauty. Okay, things, many good things will happen. If we do, wherever we are, if we do give our best, definitely it will be very beautiful. Flue gas desulfurization. See, even in the article they have given very beautifully. It is not that difficult to understand even from the article. See, this was the article we were talking about AI and the biomission, and many articles. Okay, they were coming on the aircrafts. This thing we have discussed. So see here. So what is flue gas? Okay, they have given properly. Okay, generally, like maybe for the UPSC aspirants, they might have given this thing properly. What is a flue gas desulfurization unit? Basically, they are talking that every thermal power plant means they use fuel as a coal. They'll burn the coal and the heat will be generated and turbines will be rotated and power will be produced. But in this process, while burning the coal, many gases will be released. These are the pollutant. Pollutant means which is the unwanted gas. You do not want, but it is being released. And there are also greenhouse gases. For suppose sulfur dioxide, that is one of the byproduct when you burn this coal. This is greenhouse gas as well as a pollutant. This sulfur dioxide is also responsible for creation of the acid rain. And they can also cause breathing problems, and they can also cause irritation in the eyes, and they can also damage properties because of the acid rain. So we need to regulate this thing. So for this, in the 2015 itself, government said, okay, we will go for the desulfurization technology. Means every thermal power plants should establish, should make some kind of arrangement. So when the sulfur is coming out, being released, it can be targeted and less amount of the sulfur will be released during the emissions. But no one has implemented this thing. See here, what is the implementation progress? As of 2025, very few plants have been installed. This was announced in the 2015 by the Union Environmental Ministry. Only 39 of 537 plants have installed the desulfurization. What is this? FGD technology, flue gas desulfurization units. See here, these are the units designed to remove the sulfur dioxide from flue gas emitted by burning the fossil fuels. Now there are different types: wet limestone treatment, seawater treatment. This is just basic for the awareness. The main purpose is to reduce the SO2 emission. So now the new guidelines have been given by 2027 or 2025 and 2026. Deadlines have been given to these thermal power plants. But their counter arguments is, see, for every thermal power plant, it costs 1 crore. Not for every thermal power plant, just for the 1 megawatt. Yeah, 1 megawatt of the energy. One megawatt or 1 gigawatt? Per megawatt. See here, 1.2 crore per megawatt. We have discussed what is the power generation capacity of India. I told you some things should not be removed. 500 approximately, 475, 480. From that, majority of the energy comes from coal. So here it is 220 gigawatts. Now you can imagine, just for 1 megawatt, 1 crore. 220 gigawatts. You can imagine how many crores it might cost. So instead of focusing only on the sulfur dioxide, we can focus on the other gases. This is what their counter argument is. This is becoming very, very costly. Okay. So there is a concept in your GS score. Laws will be followed only when they are easy to follow. Okay. Now here it is getting financially difficult. That's why they are not being followed. So it has to be made feasible. So some technological innovations has to be done so that it becomes feasible. So for now we do not know. Okay, so this is the deadline being provided. You know the arguments and the counter arguments. Why it has to be introduced and what are the counter arguments that are being provided. So are we clear in this? It's very simple thing. Okay, so flue gas is, like I mentioned, it is emitted as a byproduct of combustion from the fossil fuels. It consists of mainly carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and the nitrogen oxides, particulate matter. So they say, why to focus only on SO2? Let's focus on other gases that can be less costly. Okay, so they want to focus on SO2. Okay, because SO2 is also a greenhouse gas. SO2 is also a pollutant. Okay, and they also react with other gases to create the release of particulate matter. I told you particulate matter means they are very small in size. Okay, if you have the PM 2.5, they are very, very small in size. They can enter into your bloodstream. Okay, they can then cause cancers and all. They are using the technology, some technology that will filter the SO2. That is what the technology. We do not have to go into that thing. So there are three main ways they have given it. Okay, so these are the three ways. That's it. We don't go into the technology to what is that, how it process happens and all. Now, new SEZ rules for the semiconductors and the electronic manufacturing. I have already discussed, for the electronic manufacturing, we need semiconductors. All these mobile phones and all, they are made up of the integrated chips, which use the semiconductors. But we do not have the semiconductor manufacturing capacity in India because it is a heavy investment thing. It needs a lot of water. It needs so many raw materials. These raw materials also we import from the China and other countries. So there is a huge supply chain constraints. But we cannot rely on these countries for these integrated chips and semiconductors and all. These are very costly. For suppose in the future China stops giving us raw materials and semiconductors, what will we do? So our entire electronic manufacturing industry will come to the halt. So that's why we have to develop our own semiconductor manufacturing industry. So for this, government has liberalized the norms of SEZ. What are these SEZs? These are the special economic zones. Basically, these are the zones, special zones that are created in order to boost the exports. So let's say you are the industries. Okay, all of you guys are industrial players, entrepreneurs. So now I am government. I have developed this area. Okay, so this was basically, that was a 5,000 hectares. Basically, that was a requirement. Any SEZ. So there they will provide all the infrastructure facilities, like say road, water, and they will also provide the tax incentives. Now I will say, Mr. A, come and invest in this SEZ area. Okay, and we are providing you all the necessary infrastructure. We are all providing you tax incentives so that you develop the proper manufacturing capabilities here, and you can export it. So with the export, you are also getting the dollar. You are also getting the jobs. So all these things. Now we have to do the same thing for the semiconductors. So we are providing the extra benefits. here. So what are we saying here? The requirement is reduced to the 10 hectares for the SEZs. Basically, SEZ needs not basically it needs 50 hectares. Now we have reduced it to the 10 hectares. If you have to invest in this SEZ area, the basic land that is required is 10 hectares. Previously, if you have to acquire land in that area, there was a condition. Generally, in the SEZ, there is a condition called the land has to be encumbrance free. That means it should not be having any kind of litigations. Okay, it should not be having any, it should be litigation free. Now it can be dealt later on. Okay, some relaxation has been provided if the land is mortgaged or leased to the central or state government. Some relaxation has been provided. Okay, in the same way, domestic supply allowance. Okay, basically they are generally to provide the exports. If you are going to invest in a SEZ, if you are going to enter into the SEZ, you are expected to promote the exports. Now you can also sell domestically as well. Some liberalizations has been being done. So where do I use this thing? So you will use this thing as only single point. So they will ask you semiconductor manufacturing industries in India. What is the problem? What the government is doing? So this is a one point only. You will write in a mains answer 1 point. Government has recently liberalized the SEZ norms to promote the semiconductor manufacturing industry. Okay, so that is a major point that you need to understand. So the prime thing is what are the SEZs? I have told you here is a designated area within the country that is subject to unique economic regulations and different from the rest of the nations. These are the zones to attract the foreign investments, boost exports and drive economic growth. So see, this is the supply chain. It needs a lot of skill also. Even if you provide the land, tax and everything, so we need those semiconductor manufacturing skills also in India. If you are from ECE, you guys might, any one of you might relate. Okay, so there you might have done some laboratory experiments, developing those integrated chips and all. Okay, yeah. So you might, but later on, most of the people from the ECE also they're opting for the IT jobs, and some of the people like me, they have totally left the engineering background itself. Okay, so because the jobs are less, there is no proper job availability. When I used to take the ECE, okay, then I was not aware. Okay, if I was aware, then I would have gone for the CSE only. There are less number of jobs available. So still we are developing this semiconductor industry, manufacturing industry. You can imagine the scenario when I have opted for the that course. Okay, so that is a problem here. We want to develop those things. Then it will generate the jobs. Even those labs and all, also most of the students will when the final year projects has to be done. Okay, they will go and purchase the ready-made projects. There is lack of skilled human resource. We do not have the necessary skilled human resource. All this thing requires proper R&D, proper skilled resources. It is not that easy to develop the semiconductor industry in the India. Okay, so you need to be very, very careful. Okay, so advanced complex supply chain and all, this is their research and development, infrastructure development, all these things are required. Okay, this is what I have given. And yeah, so one more accident, like say in the Kerala area, we have seen, okay, there was one of the ship got caught in the fire. It also has many hazardous chemical. This is not the same oil spill that has happened. This was one more thing. Okay, so Coastal Guard and Navy, they together, they have rescued the ship. But problem is, who should be held accountable? Okay, so these ships carrying hazardous material or all sorts of hazardous equipment, they are coming to India or any coastal areas. Now, who is going to pay for this? Okay, well, for all the environmental damage that they are going to create. Okay, so there has to be some kind of accountability mechanisms and all. So that's what the editorial is talking about. You can go through. Now we are also talking with the European Union primarily. See, European Union as a whole, it is very important. We have already discussed this thing. USA is not reliable. Even USA is withdrawing from the European Union. Previously, European Union used to depend on the USA. Now they are withdrawing. Okay, so this is the one way. Second thing, even EU countries are democratic countries. So our values will match. China is not a democratic country, authoritarian. There is no freedom of speech and expression. There is no proper freedom to agencies and all. But India is a democratic country. There is a proper procedures, rule-based order. So our values will match. You will do friendships with those people whose values are getting matched. Same way, there is ideological matching. So India and EU's interests are matching there. Even they want global order. Even they want to control the China's presence in the South China Sea. We have discussed this thing. Okay, they do not want South China Sea to be controlled by the China. Okay, so we are also developing the IMEC corridor. We have discussed this thing. They will extend from the Greece towards the Europe. We have discussed this thing, IMEC corridor, in the previous class. So in this way, we are collaborating on various things. So we are on the path to finalize the free trade agreement. We have discussed what is the free trade agreement means. We have discussed the hierarchy as well. PTA, FTA, CEPA, CECA, and then economic union finally, which we have discussed. Okay, so these are the key areas of cooperation which we are discussing with them. Those things are going on. So what is the insolvency and bankruptcy code? See, this is very important. Understand this thing. Very important, crucial. This was somewhere passed in the 2016. Very important law, a kind of revolutionary law. Okay, very important. So now I am a company. I have some 200 people, 300 people. Okay, so my company is not working well. I want to exit. Okay, I want to just sell off the assets. I want to fire the people. I want to close my job. But that is not possible in India. Okay, so you have to function. There are restrictions. There is no easy exit for you currently. If you employ more than 300 people, okay, previously it was 100 people. If you employ more than 300 people, it is very difficult for you to exit. Now, for suppose if my company is not getting profits, I am facing losses. Okay, so I am in a scenario to claim default. Default means I am done. I can't pay your money. Gone. Okay, that is the right thing. Okay, so when it is legally said, okay, it is the person is defaulted, that means insolvent. There has to be some proper process. Now, for suppose I have the company, it is not working properly. Now, government is coming to say, no, you bring money from somewhere, you run, because you have employed so many people, you have to pay them salaries. Where can I pay? I am not getting money. I want to shut down my business. I want to sell my assets. I have all these assets. Okay, I want to sell those assets. I will get some money. I might do some other business. I'll keep chai shop because it is working well. Okay, so at least I will do something. But they are not allowing me. Okay, so there is a complex litigations are happening. So this law was introduced for the easy exit process and also to handle the default process. Now, for suppose I am not getting the revenue, I will complicate this thing. Scenario. I am not getting the revenue, but I have taken loan from different people. I have issued bonds to different people. I have taken loan from the different banks. I need to pay salaries to the people. Those things I am not doing. Since last 6 months, I am not paying the salaries. I am not even paying my interest to the banks. I am not even paying to the people who have taken bonds from me. I am not doing anything. This is the scenario. Now, let's say I have announced the default, and whoever the people have given credit to me, so they will form a group, and if the default is more than 1 crore, then they will go into they will go for this insolvency and resolution. Okay, see here. So financial creditor, whoever is, okay. So now you guys have given me money. Okay, I have defaulted. Now you guys will take me to this insolvency and bankruptcy procedure. So then you guys will go and complain into the NCLT. Now once it may take or it may not take the case. If the NCLT takes the case, I will not have control over the management. All the management control will be given to the NCLT. Now NCLT will have the professionals. Insolvency professionals will be there. See here. See, there will be insolvency professionals. In order to handle all these things, there will be Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. There is a regulatory body also. Now I need information. For that information, utilities are also there in this. There will be another body called the Information Utilities. So using all these things, this company is not functioning. Okay, let's say this, whatever this NCLT is there, they will come up with the resolution plan. For suppose, okay, they will say this guy has to give you 1 crore. What we will do? Let's make sure that okay, 50 lakhs. Let's waive it off. The person will pay you 50 lakhs. That also in the next 2 years. So they will come up with some kind of resolution plans. we will give them time for 3 to 4 years. In this meanwhile, we'll give them more money. These are the resolution plans to revive the company. Okay. So creditors, if they accept with more than 66% of the voting, then it will be taken up. But if you guys say no, nothing doing, we don't want this company to move forward, we want our money. Okay. Then liquidation. Liquidation means sell off those assets. Okay. And whatever the money is received, provide it to them. And there is a sequence. Whoever is a secured creditor, they will get the money. You have these shares, bonds. Okay. There are secured bonds. Whoever is a secured bonds, first these insolvency professionals will get the money. Later on the salaries will be paid, and then secured bondholders will get, and later on equity and shareholders, if any money is left, they will be receiving. This is the procedure in this. Clear? Simple procedure. Okay. So previously there don't used to be that mechanism. This mechanism does not exist, and so creditors used to suffer. I cannot go out because I am legally liable to pay you money, so I cannot sell off my assets. So there was a complex mechanism. Now there can be a resolution plan. There will be some expertise, expert body having a legal backing. You guys can complain there. They will take up the management and they can come up with the resolution plan. If you are okay with the resolution plan, then company will move forward. Company will operate. Then maybe in the future, company might get successful and you may get your money. If not, resolution plan, if it is not working, sell off the assets, take the money. And all these things should be completed in the maximum 330 days. But why it is in the news? This is the procedure. Now, Supreme Court has given various judgments recently, which is going against this insolvency and bankruptcy code. After 600 days, they have given one of the judgment. They are able to close this insolvency case regarding the Bhushan Steel plant. Now they are asking the Supreme Court that resolution plan is not good. Okay, and they has to come up with a new judgment. Supreme Court interference in the process. Same Rainbow Papers case. The Supreme Court granted the government a first charge over the company assets. Basically, it has to come later. I told you. Okay, first insolvency professionals, they will be paid. Next, the salaried employed people they will be paid, and then the secured bondholders will be paid. Later comes government and all. But here, government has been given the priority. Same. Okay, something judgment was given by the NCLT. It was not adhered to in the case of the Vidarbha Industries Power Case Limited. Already the cases are getting delayed, and some kind of corruption things are happening in the same insolvency professionals and all. They do not have necessary skill and manpower, and the cases are getting pended, getting delayed. Now Supreme Court is also giving unnecessary judgments involving in the legal procedure. So this entire process is getting affected, and this is one of the most important question for this year mains in the GS3. So far they have not asked independent question on the insolvency and bankruptcy code. Very high potential question expected for this year mains. They will ask what is the insolvency bankruptcy code, need, features, challenges or present scenarios in this insolvency and bankruptcy code. What is the way forward? So these are the current issues. Delays in the capacity constraints, coordination challenges. So coordination challenges means you have this ED, they will confiscate property. Somewhere these guys are involved in some kind of scam or and all. Okay, now they will come and they will confiscate their property. Okay, they will lock their property. On other side, NCLT is saying liquidate that property and provide the money. Okay, the creditors like, what have we done? Now that is our money. We are supposed to get money. Okay, you are locking that properties. So lack of coordination. Now you have delayed things for 1 year, 2 years. Now say you are asking to liquidate. Now all the people know this property is nothing, useless. Okay, so no one is going to purchase those things. So more delays, market confidence. For suppose if I have set up any kind of institution, okay, if my institution is not working, maybe in 2 months, 3 months, maybe if some other institution is going to, they may purchase my institution. Okay, if it is been for 2 years, 3 years, nothing functional and all, by then market value is gone. Students will forget who is this Ateeq. Not rated. Okay, whoever want to purchase that thing, they will not come forward. So this is how you have to relate. Okay, there is lack of market confidence, lack of just clarity and all. And finally, this is the scenario. Everything that is required have been provided in the content. Revise it well. Again, it will come in the news. Okay, this thing I have picked up from the business standard. So like I said, okay, I'll keep watching various newspapers. Okay, few things I'll pick up from the Express, few things I'll pick up from the business standard. Wherever any article I found, okay, this thing I took it from the Down to Earth. The first one. Okay, where they have got the price. Basically, in order to use the nitrogen to develop the nitrogen fertilizers, you use a technology which releases a lot of greenhouse gas to develop the nitrogen. Nitrogen basically in the atmosphere, it is 78% of nitrogen, but it is not available in a usable format. Okay, it does not react. You have to use some procedures, but in this process, you end up releasing the greenhouse gases. Recently, a Sweden-based startup has NitroCap. They have come up with a new technology where they use least amount of the greenhouse gases in order to, they are using some kind of plasma technology in order to extract the nitrogen to develop the fertilizers. That's all we need to understand. We need to understand. We don't have to go how this plasma technology will develop the nitrogen and all. That aspect is not required for us. Okay, so we need to know plasma technology, nitrogen being developed, nitrogen fertilizers. So these things in the future can reduce the greenhouse gases emissions. That's it. Clear? So many things we have discussed. So many things. Okay, so revise those things well. Some topics are individual. Okay, independent questions can be asked. Some topics you just use those 1 points, 2 points in the mains and the prelims. Okay, so they may ask in the prelims this flue gas desulfurization technology. What is this flue gas? They may ask. Okay. Coal gasification means, so that is also one of the technology where we are trying to make the coal less release less amount of greenhouse gases. You are using not in the solid format, you are gasifying it. So basically you are turning it into kind of gas. In this way, less amount of greenhouse gases are released. That's it. Okay, thank you.